Hi, my name is Maggie Srinivasan. People ask me about my last name because it's not really common in this country. Srinivasan is my married name. My husband's from India, and there are times that I really wish he would go back. But he's not really cooperative. On the serious part, I'm a nurse finishing my master's in education at Grand Canyon University in Phoenix, Arizona. This podcast I'm hosting is a project for a class I'm taking in nursing education. The project for the class is about technology and how it's used in nursing education. First, I'd like to say how wonderful this technology is that I'm sitting in my home in the desert and able to present this project worldwide. Although podcasting, blogs, and web pages have been around for years, in the nursing arena, this technology is still relatively new. I believe it's new to nurses because, unfortunately, most nurse educators are middle-aged, and with middle-aged, we become set in our ways. We're looking to retire, and really not focusing on learning new things or how am I going to teach this new group. The younger nurses, they're more familiar with this, and they know how to prepare, these webcasts with ease. The middle-aged nurse needs to grasp technology. I want to work less for more money, and technology provides this. I've not been able to find a lot of information out there on podcasting and nursing education, and I believe because it's still relatively new to nursing. Diane Billings, a nurse educator out of Indianapolis, she's published many books and articles. She published an article with Judith Kowalski in 2007 in the Journal of Continuing Education in Nursing. This article was titled Using Podcasts for Nursing Education. It discusses the challenges of healthcare facilities that are responding to the increased patient acuity, the staff shortages, the bottom line they're dealing with, and also the aging patient population with the chronic and comorbidic conditions. These factors, create this dilemma for nurses. We don't have a lot of time to attend ground-in services. And on our days off, we don't want to go to work to attend. The podcast, as Ms. Billings and Kowalski explain, it's the fast food on-the-go method of nursing education. Think about it. Combining online education and the podcast, it has the potential to create a phenomenal learning experience far superior to anything anyone has been exposed to up until this time. Diane Billings, again, with Judith Halstead, wrote Teaching in Nursing, and in that book, they stated that people learn by the means that they're most exposed to. To the young nurses of today, this means the internet. What is a podcast? A podcast is any way of sharing information over the internet. One advantage of a podcast is the learning material can be downloaded to the computer and saved for future reference. A second advantage is it can be downloaded to an iPhone or a handheld device and watched while standing in line at the Walmart. According to Billings and Kowalski in the article Using Podcasts for Nursing Education, the advantages are unlimited. It's access to material, it demonstrates how and shows skills or use of new equipment, and for healthcare facilities, this is a consistent form of education that's cost effective. One disadvantage Billings and Kowalski note in their podcast for nursing education article, which was written in 2007, is the cost. In today, 2011, I don't believe cost is no longer a factor. I'm presenting this on a $300 computer purchased from Best Buy 2 weeks ago. That's no longer a factor. Podcasts, another disadvantage though is that they don't allow for questions, so learners need a number or an email address of the presenter, so this way if they do have questions they can write them down late and email them or call later on. When should I use a podcast? Well, any darn time you want, employee orientation, policy and procedure, which I like because I can do a podcast on a policy and procedure and I can outline the policy and the procedure, and I will also show you how to do something with the right supplies and the right way, with a sterile field or, clean environment or whatever. I can download EKG strips with the podcast. Okay, I can go over EKG strips on a podcast. Podcasts can be downloaded to phones for people who are prepping for licensure exams or certifying exams. It's a great teaching tool for case scenarios and code simulations, and they can be saved for future learning. Okay, this is like one person conducts this class one time, and that's it. The rest can be done, on their own time, whenever, and they can watch it at their leisure. And they'll probably learn a lot more because they're in a more relaxed environment. Creating podcasts. There are many sites on the internet that allow you to do this, okay? YouTube is a really good place to post a podcast. Podbean.com is a podcast hosting social site. Blog Talk Radio allows callers to call in. So this is perfect for online distance learning. The students can call in with questions. You can present a podcast during certain hours and have a chat room set up, which is another resource, for questions. It's limitless. That's it, okay, and let me see. Podomatic is another site. Just like the Vegematic from the I Love Lucy days, this is the Podomatic. Okay, some hosting sites are free, some have monthly fees as much as $250 a month. Some hosting sites are friendly for people who aren't tech savvy, and some hosting sites for $250 a month will create the whole web podcast for you, the podcast for you. Okay, tips for creating podcasts. Write the scripts out. Okay, I'm reading off my script. Time what you want to say, and let it flow freely and hopefully mistake-free, which is not the case in this podcast. Literally add bells and whistles to your podcast so it's entertaining. Get permission from others to avoid copyright infringement laws, and get permission from authors if you plan on doing something like this. Provide references for viewers who want additional information. And finally, okay, let your viewers know that this is for internal use only and not for distribution. Okay? So this is for internal use only and not for distribution, although it is being cast out throughout the world. Okay? And there are many references available online for legal issues regarding copyright laws. Okay, I would suggest you use a really recent one because technology changes, and if it's 2 years ago, it's old. Okay, now this is my conclusion. Podcasts are portable. They provide a lot of material in a way that learners of today are used to. Creating podcasts is a cost-effective, creative way to reach a lot of people in a large area. Okay, my references, as I had told you already, was Podbean, Podomatic, and Blog Talk Radio. I went into those sites, and did some research on them. And then my educational references are Billings and Halstead, 2009, Teaching and Nursing, A Guide for Faculty, St. Louis, Missouri, and Billings and Kowalski, 2007, Using Podcasts for Nursing Education, Journal of Continuing Education in Nursing, March 1st, 2007. Okay, my name is Maggie Srinivasan. This was a presentation for a class I'm doing at Grand Canyon University. If there's any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. My email is maggiedanurse@yahoo.com. That's MAGGIEDANURSE @yahoo.com. Okay, thank you, and have a nice day.